Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this video is intended to be part 2 of my look at some of the best stories and episodes in the history of Doctor Who. Of course, this video focusing on the modern series, a top 10 of the best stories in the modern series, spanning from Series 1 all the way up to the Day of the Doctor. And these are going to be my choices. Basically I'm going to be going a little more in depth with why I've chosen them. And so, yeah, I'm not going to be going least favorite to most favorite. Again, I'm going to be going chronologically as they appeared on TV. And we'll jump right in. My first choice was The Unquiet Dead. Series 1, Christopher Eccleston, Billy Piper as Rose Tyler. I love this story for one of the things that was a reoccurring theme in all of my classic series stories and my subsequent follow-up video talking in depth about them. One of the things I go back to is the atmosphere, and this episode has nothing but atmosphere, and I think most of my modern series choices, the same can be said for all of them. You have Charles Dickens, you have sort of zombies and spirits and mysticism, but from an alien culture and alien nature and all that kind of stuff. It absolutely just rocked my world with interests, historical interest, alien sci-fi elements, of course, seeing the bond and the rapport being built between the Ninth Doctor and Rose, respectively, and they were very much an inseparable team by the end of the story that ends in somewhat tragedy before the greater good. And so, yeah, I loved this particular episode. Coming in at number 2 for the modern series, The Girl in the Fireplace. Not much more needs to be said if you've ever seen this episode. One of Stephen Moffat's best efforts in the modern series of Doctor Who, if not his greatest. I think even outweighing, of course, The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. A great two-parter, to be sure, but I love the atmosphere of this story once again. You're talking about France, Madame de Pompadour, the Doctor becoming infatuated with her and her ability to sort of turn that infatuation back on him, and it's just got a great ambiance to it. The clockwork robots are fantastic nemesis, if you will, and yeah, everything about that particular episode. The Doctor rides a horse through a mirror, through time, from space. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that. Coming in at number 3, the two-parter from Series 3, Human Nature and the Family of Blood. The look at the aspect of the Doctor having to completely lose himself to a fully human sort of life. This whole John Smith side of him is a completely different person. David Tennant is spot on in representing a wholly different character than what we know him as the Doctor. And it's just a very compelling story in the fact that the Doctor's human form falls very much in love and wants not to lose that, but for the greater good, to stop this particular family of blood, these aliens who would stop at nothing to have his essence and his energies and things like that, he has to revert back to his Doctor form to best them, to quell them finally, and everything from this, historical setting, once again, this period piece setting, with the scarecrows running amok and everything like that, just haunting and vibrant and fantastic. And so coming in at number 4, The Fires of Pompeii from Series 4. This sees the 10th Doctor and Donna Noble, of course, going to Pompeii and being there to witness its destruction. Of course, there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than just Mount Vesuvius exploding and vomiting all over the place. But we see, the Doctor very much not wanting to stand in the way of letting history flow. The natural flow of history must take its course, and there's something going all the way back to the first Doctor he takes very seriously. He actually scolds Barbara, his companion at the time, that history must not be messed around with. So, it's a very heart-wrenching story seeing Donna pleading through sobs for him to save one family, save one person. And, of course, it's Peter Capaldi's family he ends up saving, which may or may not benefit him in a future incarnation. Coming in at number 5 from Series 5, Victory of the Daleks. Friggin' love this episode. My favorite Daleks episode, probably in the history of all of them. I'd probably put this one at the top tier because the Daleks are suave, are meticulous, are commanding in their sort of strategy. They outwit the Doctor, and that is not an easy feat to accomplish. And I can only say, once again, I've talked about this in a previous Dalek-centric video, I really wish we would touch back on this new paradigm of Daleks, because for them to have bested the Doctor in intellect, in strategy, says a lot for what they're capable of, and where the hell is this new paradigm? Why aren't we seeing more of them? We really need Daleks that pose a legitimate threat to the Doctor, but this particular choice, the reason I've chosen it, is not just that factor of the Daleks beating the Doctor in a sense at his own game. It's essentially the fact that once again we have a very interesting atmosphere. World War II era, you have Winston Churchill, sort of the center in the background, and you have a scientist who doesn't know he's a robot and who's healed only by love and all this kind of stuff. And again, the Daleks. The Daleks impose themselves as servants to mankind, but of course they have a very devious purpose behind it all. Mark Gatiss was in top form writing this particular episode, and I love it.